Living Seed Media brings to you God's Word, which is His comprehensive equipment for changing lives. May the Lord impact your heart as you encounter His Word. For further inquiry or counsel, contact Peace House, P.O. Box 971, Boko, Benue State, Nigeria. Telephone numbers 0703 0363659, 0703 7681198. Email address lsmedia@livingseed.org, or visit our website at www.livingseed.org. Let us sit back and listen as the servant of God brings forth the word of life.
The young man that became the author of the book of Proverbs, Solomon, one of the first things that happened to him when he came to leadership, when he was suddenly appointed to become the king of Israel after his father David. You remember that very, very popular story about Solomon. That Solomon, when he found himself on the throne of his father, the first place he turned, he went to the place of prayer, I'm told. He went to the high mountain in Gibeon. And after a lot of religious ceremonies and sacrifices and all that they did, the Bible said God appeared to him. And the first thing that came was God was asking him, so what do you want me to do for you? Do you remember? And the Bible said Solomon said, only one thing I want. Only one thing. He said, you know, you have made me a leader of these great people. And yet I am a young boy. I don't know my left, I don't know my right. How am I going to govern these great people? How am I going to push these great people so that I will not misbehave? So he said, I just want you to do something for me. I wish you would give me the spirit of discretion and understanding. Maybe that's why, now writing the book of Proverbs, he was beginning to say, wisdom is the principal thing. He asked, he said, if only you can give me wisdom and understanding that I may know you. And the Bible reported in 1 Kings chapter 4 that God was happy with his request. God said, in that you did not ask. And God gave a catalog of what others usually ask for whenever they go to a place of prayer. God gave a catalog of the kind of things that other people have always asked. And the Bible said, God said, in that you have not asked for the life of your enemy or of your opponent. You have not asked for me to give you money. You have not asked that I should give you power. In that you have not asked even for long life. Neither have you asked riches for yourself. And you have not asked the life of your enemies, but you have asked for yourself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to your words. Lo, I have given you a wise and an understanding heart. so that there was none like you before you, neither after you shall any arise like unto you. And I have also given you that which you have not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto you all your days. And if you will walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments as your father David did walk, then I will lengthen your days. Now, what was bringing me here was because I wanted to deal with what is the principal thing, even for you to achieve your mandate in this university as a staff. What is the principal thing for us to build a community where excellence will be the hallmark? What is the principal thing? What is the prerequisite thing that if we will press for, it might give unto us the capacity to achieve our goals in a minimum route? What is it that we need as individuals and corporately as a staff community that would give to us an achievement that will baffle our colleagues anywhere? And they say, how is it that Lautech has been so ruled and governed and they are getting this kind of results? The first thing that I saw was that Solomon recognized that the source of all wisdom and understanding is God. Is that okay? The Bible says only a fool says there is no God. When a man has not acknowledged the right source. Now, some of you have done a lot of research and you will still do research. Do you know that the greatest help that comes to you is first and foremost for you to discover the source of right information? Am I right? For any research to be authentic, before we accept a data and put all the statistical tests to authenticate it as a data that is reliable, the first thing we query about any data before we can begin to now draw implications and applications from it is what? We first want to check, is the source of that data, is it authentic? Is it viable? Is it correct? The first thing I saw with Solomon was that he was touching the source of wisdom. Now, if it was only King Solomon that did that, maybe I would have thought it was peculiar to him. But then look at the University of Babylon. And Daniel and his colleagues were particularly recruited. And the king that set up the university, so to say, set up goals. This and this and this are the kind of people we want you to prepare and produce. Do you remember? He said people that can stand anywhere before kings and presidents. People that will have very, very versatile knowledge in the philosophy of Babylon. These are the kind of, and you know, there were clear entry qualifications. But you see, when Daniel and his men got in there, the first thing they traced was they went to the right source. They told the man that was in charge and said, please leave us alone. We want to access the source of knowledge here. At the end of the day, one of the things that were reported about Daniel was that God had endowed them with such wisdom and understanding in all branches of the sciences of Babylon, to such an extent that when they were brought to test, they were 10,000. I mean, they are 10 times better than their colleagues. Now, remember how that young man, Daniel, for example, was relevant in the government of Babylon for about 4 different regimes. I was surprised that even though, now this is where I'm going, and our VC seated, I will begin to apply what I wanted to say here this afternoon. I discover that Daniel, politically speaking, ought not to be given a political appointment in Babylon. Am I right? Because number one, he was one of the refugees. Even if they were trained for some technical services, when it comes to governmental positions, when it comes to political appointments, Daniel ought not to do what? To have a space. I know we're in Nigeria, where excellence is not yet our consideration. Rather, we deal with merit within quota. You know that there are some appointments in the university that it is not the fault of the VC or anybody. It is the status quo. Merit within what? Quota. When the issue of quota system was introduced to Nigeria some years ago, and some of us had to become operators of quota, you sat there taking decisions and you kept wondering, and we saw people that are highly qualified, but they have come from the wrong place. Is this still happening? Highly qualified, but they said, no. His quota, their own quota had been filled. So push him aside. And then we start looking at this other local government, this other state, and we say, no, they have not yet filled their quota. So we go anywhere we can to get whatever we can just to fill a quota. Now, somehow I'd like to say to you that if what we are looking for which I sense that we are being recruited to play our part in the growth and development of this university, if it's going to come to pass, while we may not be able to discard the quota, it is necessary to keep the quota. But I'm looking forward to a university where even within the quota system, we will be dealing with merit and excellence. We will be particularly emphasizing men that are coming into the system, into the leadership, into the departments, and into various opportunities to serve, because we cannot find anyone better than them. But now, I'm dealing with where is the source for that kind of production. Because Daniel has touched the source of understanding. I'm looking at a case like that before I return to my subject of study, Solomon. Because of wisdom, the excellent spirit that was in Daniel. Please listen, because I'm speaking to you as staff. And I know it's going to be to the total benefit of the university, even the leadership, if we have a staff that is inspired. If we have a staff that are tapping into the source of wisdom in the discharge of their duties. If we have a staff that are creative, you see, creativity is not, I wish to say to you that many times, a system becomes more costly to run because the operators of the system on their own are not creative. Oh, you are not with me. Now, when I come to a place, they say, well, there's no money here. There's no this one. There's no that one there. One of the things I've found is the fact that when you meet a man that is creative, when you have a man that has touched a source of wisdom, they have the capacity to achieve their goals with minimum input. But when we have operators, when we have a staff that even in themselves there is no inspiration, they are simple consumers. They are consumers that, just like wheelbarrow, wherever you push them to, that's where they stop. They can't add to it. And one of the things I want to leave you with as a staff, I want to ask you to think like this. If you spend 5 years in Lautech as a staff, do you know that you are spending 5 of your years? Am I right? If you came into Lautech at the age of 30, and if Lautech is comfortable for you and you worked here for 15 years, by the time you are stepping at Lautech, what are you? Are you still 30? You will be 45. And the 15 years you put into Lautech is irretrievable. Can you get it back? Now, let me ask you, what you spent 15 years to become in Lautech, whose is it? It's yours. It's yours. So, laboring or working here without a personal desire to grow yourself, to grow into something that when you look back, you say, I thank God I did not waste my years in Lautech. To look back, if you are teaching students, to look back and say, yes, I know what I invested my 15 years into Lautech for, and I am not ashamed of it. Are you such a staff? Or are you just in an administrative office and it satisfies you to push the file and nothing else is going through your mind in terms of how can I make this place where I'm sitting, how can I make it living? How can I make my office dynamic? It is not for the VC you are doing it. It's not for someone else. It's just that you are developing your personal capacity that when you look back tomorrow, you say, I have grown. Do you understand? Now, Daniel was laboring, serving, and I want to tell you something about Daniel that maybe you didn't know. He was a eunuch. What it means that he was not going to get married. He has been, he has been castrated. So, such a person should have become hopeless. And say, so of what use? What am I living for? He could have been reckless. But I found in Daniel a man that has touched wisdom and understanding, and he brought that into the governance of Babylon. Honestly speaking, the Bible said, even though a non-tribe, a non-indigene, an alien to the country, when he was recruited, he was a junior officer, but because the wisdom with which he operated, none of his senior colleagues could withstand it. Immediately, what did they do? They advanced him. Now, I want to say to you, sir, yes, I know we have come into a general system where it looked as if all you just need to be is attend the office, fill the time book. Nobody finishes government job. Whether anything is going on or not, once your salary is paid. Now, it might look nice, but I'd like to say to you, you are reducing your productivity that way. You might think that, who is going to die for government job? Let me inform you, it's not about dying for government job. It's about adding value to your own personality. It's about breaking barriers around your own life. It's about breaking boundaries and exploring the capacity that God could have given you. But what is exciting is that while you are developing your life, while you are being creative, the organization that has employed you, your employers, they look like the immediate beneficiaries. Because the Bible said, for Daniel, government business did not suffer in his hand. Do you remember that? Do you remember that Nebuchadnezzar came to a standstill in his life? He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know where to turn. He was baffled. He didn't know what else to do. He said, send for Daniel. By the time this young man stepped in, he said, can I inform you that wisdom and knowledge does not come from any man, it comes from God. Let me ask. Sir, do you know I'm looking for staff in the faculty, in the various departments that on their own, not because you are paying them, they are so resourceful that they are not particularly laboring for remuneration. They are laboring out of inspiration. That they look at a challenge in the department and they say, give me space. Let me think through it. Let me pray. And because they are touching wisdom, because you see, we are sitting here, I don't think that God is setting up a university like this only to be a repetition of something somewhere. I believe we can create history. I believe that we have capacity to engage in such research that other nations all over the world could come back and say, but how did you discover that? Are you with me? But it doesn't come from a kind of staff that is lethargic. It doesn't come from the kind of staff whose reason for working is salary. It doesn't come from a kind of staff whose motivation is what we can eat. It comes from a kind of people who themselves are exploring. They are not just exploring for the system, they are exploring their own capacity. So you see, that's the kind of people I'm trying to look at in Solomon and in Daniel this afternoon. And I want to propose to you that, number one, those who push their own mandate a distance in their lifetime, and those who affected their generation wherever they are put, they were not first and foremost paid to do so. Oh Lord, am I communicating with you? They were not particularly paid to do so. The man that discovered liquid electricity, I'm not sure anybody paid him. As I went through studying liquid electricity and looking at, Dufay, there came a point, something was when he said, what is it that causes current to flow? Is it possible for me to create a portable situation where we can generate current and can be converted to energy? And part of his experiment was that in trying to see how liquid electricity releases charges, he was making several experiments. One of it was to see whether current could flow through the fluid in his own body. And I said, people taking dangerous risk just to bring, a contribution to their community. It's painful that, yes, we have a nation of consumers. But if Nigeria is going to move forward, God must raise for us. And I feel that this is the right kind of place to throw a challenge. A challenge of looking forward to building a community that we will look back and say, I thank God I made my mark in this community. I brought in my contribution when I had opportunity to do so. I have done what I could. As I'm sitting back looking at all the things that is happening in our politics and all of that, sometimes your initiative is to be killed. You feel like, what is the need? What is the use? But the truth I want to share with you is that those who squander, it is not that they are squandering things because it belongs to the public. Are you hearing me? Even their own things themselves, they will squander it because it's a lifestyle. Don't get annoyed too much that a man has squandered what belongs to the public. When you get into his own private life himself, are you hearing me? He has squandered it. There is nothing a squanderer can become, because squandering is a lifestyle. So the question I'm raising is to first ask you whether you are a man, a woman who has a personal inspiration for excellence, and whether the years you are spending in Lautech, you want to remember it with relish. Or you just want to spend your life here, you wanted to collect salaries. And if I were to begin to ask some very practical question, I myself, having worked for years, if I ask a salary and I say, what have you achieved with your salary? Honestly speaking, do you know that salary earners, The reason why they can never be free from salary is that they have not done anything particular with it. They have simply lived a routine. But if we are going to have people that can bring about a change and they will look back, these are people that live not for what they can eat. They are living for something higher than what the mouth can consume. I'm asking you, are you in Lautech as a staff? And there is something in you or in your heart that you are saying, I want to be remembered for something that I did here. This has nothing to do with when you will become the vice chancellor. Do you get me? This is a lifestyle that as a clerk it will show. As a laboratory technician it will show. When we were in the University of Ibadan in those days, we used to have some staff in the physics laboratory. And it's amazing that there was one that has worked there for several years. All the professors had worked with him. And when we were students, and we needed to do anything in the laboratory that has to do with fabrication, the prof will just simply say, meet Mr. So-and-so. And I was overwhelmed that this man that I thought was not educated enough was so resourceful that those of us that are doing very scientific studies, we couldn't move without his input. Actually, he would just call you and say, is this what you want to construct? This, try this, do this. And it will be accurate. And I was surprised that several that have graduated and have become doctors, they came back. And when you saw the way they respected a technician, some of them are saying, I know I would not have succeeded with my project if not for your help. And I'm saying, what kind of man is this? Who did his job with a level of inspiration that even when students that pass through his hands, when they return as lecturers, they dare not look at his face. Now, it takes something else to produce such a man more than salary. Are you getting what I'm talking about? Now, when Daniel touched the source of wisdom, nobody could stop from advancing him. Actually, they forgot where he comes from. I used to tell people that want to be Christians, and I say to you, I say, if you want to be a genuine Christian, you will not be able to pay bribe. Is that okay? You will not be able to go to a head of department when they are filling your upper form. I do hope that we are going to have men and women here whose promotion is not because you are begging about. Is that no matter wherever they want to carry out any form of assessment, they are saying, unless we want to be wicked, there is no way we cannot but advance this man. If you are in academics here as a lecturer, I don't know what will be in your mind than to touch the source of wisdom, that when they call for papers, publishable papers, you are not one of those who are practicing plagiarism. I hope you know now that there are professors that became professors out of plagiarism. Oh, you are not with me anymore. You don't like me to talk about it here. So it's okay. Now, I wonder what such a man wants to be in academic for. I wonder, what is the dignity of an academic when you don't have original knowledge? I wonder why you want to brag when, honestly speaking, there is nothing inside of you that is reverberating that concerning that matter, we originated it. Now, but how do we get such people? The Bible says wisdom is what? Is the principal thing. And I have simply begun to say, these men that caught wisdom, they got to the source. Now, up till tomorrow, the first judgment of Solomon, I hope you know it was a classical judgment. Go into the realm of law, they still quote that judgment. Such a judgment that made kings to travel from afar. They just wanted to come and sit in his court, just to listen to him speak. If I were to help you to look at the man Solomon, when the Bible began to talk about his achievements before he died, the number of publications he had, you know, in our own modern language we call it publications. Am I right? Now, the number of publications that was accredited to Solomon, the total number of proverbs. Now, we call it proverbs now. But but in our own present contemporary time, I hope you know that you are not going to call it proverbs. You are going to call it axioms. Some of it you call it theory or hypothesis. You will say, he proposed this. He proposed this, and it has stood the test of time. Where did they get it? They went to the source. Now, brothers and sisters, this afternoon, I just feel like bringing a challenge to you as staff. Do you desire to get to the source that could make you a formidable asset to the community you are serving? Do you want to break your boundary, your natural boundary, and begin to do things that men will be baffled about your achievement in a short while? When Joseph got into the house of Potiphar, I decided to talk this afternoon from the angle of a staff. I'm dealing with a staff. The reason is because, you know, when we are staff, when we are employees, the normal mind of employees is to forget about their own opportunities and they are concerned about the employer. So all the time, every time, you know, academic staff meet, the ASU, the NASU, the SANU, and all of that. I was in the university the other time, and I'm meeting with the ASU presidents and ESCO. I'm meeting with the SANU. I'm meeting with the various groups. And just as we opened the discussion, one of them said, "Look, Gbile, we thank you for your talk. But help us to talk to the oppressors. You see, in the eyes of the employee, the employer is the oppressor. A very wrong attitude. Wrong attitude in the sense that you never understood that opportunity to be employed is opportunity to exploit your capacity for greatness. Opportunity that God gives you to be employed as a staff here is not first to the benefit of the organization. Oh, I wish God will help you to know that it is your privilege to expand, to test, to prove those quiet ideas that have been forming in your heart and see whether it works out or not. I want to say to you that you shouldn't work in Lautech for 5 years. Are you hearing me? And you are out less than you came in. Take that decision. Don't let me see that you are in an office and it is equipped with computer. And they even ask you to go and learn word processing. And when you leave the service of Lautech, you are still completely illiterate. No, you have done a disservice to yourself. You see, a man that wants to get beyond where he is not working for the system. He sees the work opportunity only but as a privilege to develop. And that development, oh my God, yes, university will get a blessing because you are serving them. You are exploring your capacity with their opportunities. But honestly speaking, when you are leaving the place, you leave the place more robust than you came in. Now, when Joseph was brought into Egypt, you know how was he brought in? He was brought in as a slave. Oh, my brother, some of you are here. What you are doing, you are not excited about it. Some of you are working and say, well, I'm just passing time here. I'm looking for a better job. Some of you are here and what you read, your course, you are not interested in exploring what can I make out of it, even if it were history. In your head, you are saying, let me just get to the bank somewhere. So you go to bank, where what you read is irrelevant. All they are asking you to do is to count money and carry some things and go up and down. You do a routine, and it doesn't touch you that I am stagnant. I am being used only as a tool. I am not allowed to explore my capacity. Now, because these young men have touched the source of wisdom, those who employed them, they had more than they could pay them. I'm looking for you to become a staff in this establishment under God's hand, that what they pay you will be a pittance to your capacity. The day you are going away, I wish the university will have opportunity to cry and say, we have lost a man. Are you hoping to strike this campus with something that they will never forget? Now, how do you get at that? Because Solomon went to the source and said, God, don't give me money. And this is where I want to conclude. It looks as if men that have accomplished things, money was so small in their consideration, but they had money. Are you hearing me? Some of you think you are going to have resources by looking for resources. But the principle is this. Get the principal thing. Resources will run after you. Break forth with the principal source of wisdom. You will have more than enough. You will have more jobs than you can handle. You will have more opportunities than you can handle. You will be in a place, in a space that people will be looking left and right and say, now, where do we find a man like this? I was just talking with a friend and a Christian brother the other day. He's a medical doctor. And he's working in the university system. And he came through one of our leadership trainings some years ago. And we were looking at the fact that if you happen to become born again, if you happen to be a born again Christian, and the Spirit of God comes into your life, it is offense not to be excellent. It's a disgrace to be a Christian in any place and you are not the first and best. It is completely a contradiction to the life that we represent. That anybody could assess you and they assess you and rate you less than the best is not correct. It's an offense. Why is it an offense? You are the one that have access to the source of all knowledge. You are the one that has the sound mind. Say, God has not given to us the spirit of fear and the spirit of bondage, but he has given us the spirit of what? Of power, of love, and of sound mind. Sound mind. I said, look, it is not acceptable. It's not acceptable for you to carry the inspiration of the Almighty God at work in you, in any office, and you are not at the first. But it pains me that there are many, maybe because of this quiet confusion of what do I gain. Now, the other day we were talking. When the vice chancellor of the university where he now works, when he wanted anything, whether the ICT of the university, he wants it to work. It has not worked for years. He challenged this brother and said, can you help me? But the man is not an ICT person. He's not an information technology person. He's a medical person. How does a medical person, a pediatrician, how does he have enough knowledge in computer? How could he get to that point? The issue we are raising is that, look, when you touch the source of wisdom and you have been personally inspired, nobody can break your record. So they did some certain things and the university started functioning so well. And some people who are in the department of information technology and all of that, they came and say, Prof, they are talking to the VC. Why do you give our job to this other man? He has his own department. The VC say, I'm looking for what works. I need results. I don't need argument. If you want to be relevant, follow this young man. That's a challenge. My brother, my sister, I feel that I should talk to you that you are not first and foremost serving the system. You are exploring your capacity under God. Can you maximize your opportunity? So when Joseph got to the house of Potiphar, normally I think he should have been weeping and said, look at me. Look at me. The son of my father, they have sold me out here. And he could have just been weeping for the rest of his years and waste his opportunity. I hope you are not here a disgruntled member of staff. I hope you can find a reason for being in Lautech and maximize it. I hope you are not just saying, well, this is not where I want to be anyway. I'm just here. You are just here and you have been here for 5 years. Say, I'm just here. Well, I'm just here. We are just here. When you ask them, how you say, we are managing. Bad language. Bad language. Managing. For what? If you are here and you know you are spending 2 years, can you make your 2 years to count? So that by the time you are walking out here, if they were to ask you to write your CV, you won't be telling lies, you won't be exaggerating, there will be enough to put in those 2 years. You say, I worked in Lautech for 2 years, and in 2 years, I initiated this, I initiated this, I initiated this. I worked in the academic registry and I invented a system of maintaining our records that student transcripts did not spend 1 hour on our table anymore. I did that. You say, well, no, there is no. Wisdom is the principal thing. Those who became great didn't ask for riches. They didn't ask for long life. My brother, let me ask you, what do you want long life for? Why do you emphasize longevity and not productivity? Every time you come to an establishment like this, people are telling you, look, when Lautech was starting, we were here. And so what? What does that mean? You were here. What did you do? They didn't ask for long life, but they live long. Those who are preoccupied with living long, they actually don't achieve anything. They actually die. But those who have a reason to live, they say, look, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I have this to achieve in this time. Come and see what their lives became. Solomon was not asking for long life. He only said, give me wisdom and understanding to discharge my duty. Are we together? I'm going to soon ask you to pray. I feel that, speaking to you as staff, I needed to share with you that if you understand why you are here, why God has given you a space to be here, it's not only that the university may be benefited, but the benefit that university will get out of your being here will be simply a fallout of your own capacity development. Am I communicating at all? Look, Joseph got into that house. He was supposed to be a slave. He was supposed to be a cleaner. And they were pushing him, Joseph, go and do this. Joseph, go and do this. Joseph, go and do this. But here is a Joseph that carries something inside of him. He carries an inspiration of God. He brought God's presence in his life to his mundane activity in the house. Before you know it, the Bible said, Potiphar noticed that the Lord was with Joseph. And that whatever Joseph did what? Prospered. Before you know it, can I tell you what happened? The oga of the house handed over to the houseboy. I don't know what you are thinking. I don't see anybody oppressing you. I see yourself oppressing yourself. That's the truth. Do you know that I walked under a provost, and I know that their ways are not straight, but I am here. I want to straighten him out. You know what I'm going to do? I do a lot of research about how to get things done, and I'm putting it in writing. So when I'm going to write to my provost, having made analysis of several things, I say, when you look at our results in the past 5 years, in the between 1985, 84, 85, 85, 86, 86, 87, 87, 88, this is the current trend. And I searched what was causing this to happen, what was causing this to happen, what was causing this. I found that there is a downward enrollment in physics in this state. And I want to suggest to you that if we don't do something about it, the department of physics in this place will soon become extinct because we are not going to have students. How many of you know that many universities in Nigeria now, they don't have students to do history, sir? What's happening to history department? It's becoming extinct. Now there's a professor there in history, they are busy arguing. Do you not know that you will soon become irrelevant when you don't have students to teach anymore? So I was proposing, I said, now, we're going to do physics awareness campaign all over the state. The man said, is it possible? I said, I have the plans. By the time I laid it down, he said, how much will it cost? I said, don't worry about that. I know that when you have a vision, those who have no vision, they kill your vision with budget. That's where your vision is stopped. Budget. I said, no, don't worry about that. I have also found a way in which we can cause this to happen at very minimum cost to the establishment and to my department. He said, well, can it be done? I said, yes. Had enlisted the home economics department that as part of the student experiment, going to be an experiment. They were going to produce snacks for all the participants, and I'm going to bring all the teachers from all the secondary school from our catchment area. They are going to come in for an awareness. And I'm inviting Professor so-and-so, of physics curriculum, Professor so-and-so, my provost said, wow, you mean they will come? I say, why not? They are looking for where to talk. Nobody has ever given them opportunity to go and present paper. It did. The state radio carried it. That brought a big publicity to the name. And so that my provost will be comfortable, he is the chief host. What's your problem about that? I asked him to come and give the opening charge. He said, Mr. Akanni, I don't know how to put this together, but if you can help me with some few points, then I will know what to do. I said, it's all right. What is the problem? I wasn't developing just the college. I was exploring capacity. From there, we were the people that proposed what has now become generally accepted, the pre-degree, the pre-science. We proposed it. It wasn't meant for schools down here, because here we are always over-enrolled. But you need to go to the north. You don't get students. We proposed it. We designed it. Now I'm so happy, I relax when I now see that the whole of the north, they have adopted what we gave birth to. It's now standardized. Why did he come to the west? Why did he come to the universities down here? It's because, number one, he gave a greater income. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry about that. Now, it's looking good. It's looking nice. We propose such things that generations after, they look back, they say, oh, thank you for showing us that we can do it. French was dying out. When we tried pre-science and we began to produce the best of science students, because you see, what makes many of our students not to be qualified for university admission is mismanagement, mishandling at the secondary level. Am I right? Many of these children have great intelligence, but they have been murdered. Why they started physics in Form 3 in those days. That's when they were slaughtered. When the teacher came out and taught vernier caliper for a whole month. When they made mathematics look so unapproachable. Instead of explaining how equations are formed from ordinary logic, you go and confront a young man that doesn't know left or right. You say x squared plus y cubed is equal to c cubed. What is x, y, z? What's the meaning of that? Just that you want to confuse a young heart. Mathematics doesn't start with x, y, z. I hope you know. Mathematics started from normal history. It's a normal story. It's a life story. 5 people were going to a farm. And the owner of the farm was so happy with them that he gave them 3 baskets of oranges. And they needed to share this basket of oranges equally. What is the best means of sharing 5 baskets of oranges? 3 baskets of oranges in between 5 people. What are we doing now? We have just started mathematics. We have just started introduction to equation. Because equation means dividing equally. That's what makes it equation. If it's not equally, then it is not equation, it is inequality. And there's a different mathematics for inequality. And you can create that. So you don't have to make the children, you say, no. Now what I'm saying to you is this. Can we have staff who are inspired, who can create? I said such men, they don't ask for money. Wisdom is much more principal than money. And until you first of all get delivered from money, you don't access what I'm talking about. Are we together? And yet I want to inform you that you will have more riches than anybody else. You will be blessed more than anybody else. You will be valued more than anybody else. You will be walking tall among men simply because you are bold enough to touch the source of wisdom. I like to stop here. Wisdom is the principal thing. With all you're getting, get wisdom. But now, I said that wisdom only comes from where? From God. The source of genuine inspiration. And I talk to you not as a preacher particularly. I'm not preaching to you. I'm talking to you from a scientist's point of view. I discover that there's a lot of scientific discovery when you got a sound mind. You'll be surprised if I began to tell you several sophisticated scientific theory that we can trace from the scriptures. Some of you think that when you read Bible, you're only reading history. I want to say to you, my brother, my sister, in this place, what do you want your life to count for? By the time Joseph took over the house of Potiphar, everything went well. In fact, the Bible said the man does not remember what he has, apart from whatever they put on the table for him to eat. And why Joseph was advancing like that, immediately he became attractive. He became attractive, Abi? He became attractive to everybody, including the Oga's wife. I do hope that some of you are not going to end your career because you are getting involved in immorality. I do hope that you know that those who want to go a long distance in life, the first thing that they must overcome in their lives, they must overcome passion, inordinate passion for women and for men. I hope you know that a system becomes weak and porous when the man there can open and unzip himself before any girl. When I see any man who cannot overcome passion for sexual immorality, he is not a trustworthy person. He can release anything, anytime, anywhere. That is why Senate result that is yet to be ratified, you will pick it in the hand of some girls down there. As you are passing, let me tell you, they are not going to pass you. Come and see me. There are some small girls here that are more powerful than some of you head of department. Very powerful. If they do hand to you like this, you need to beg them. I say, what is it? He say, no. Say, excuse me, sir, mind yourself. Otherwise, we deal with you on this campus. Why? We have leaders who can unzip themselves anywhere. Can I ask you, my friends, greatness of this university is first and foremost greatness of you as a staff. Can you pursue that? Though this university will be blessed with your greatness, but your greatness is intrinsic to you. Wherever you go, it goes with you. Your experience is your experience. Your expertise is your expertise. We can benefit from it, but when you go with it. It makes you versatile. It makes you established anywhere you go. Wisdom is the principal thing. That wisdom comes only from God. Whosoever you are this afternoon, can I invite you to the source of wisdom? Can I ask you, say, I am spending these few years in Lautech, I'm serving this organization, I'm serving this university, but Lord, I'm spending my life. I don't want it to be wasted. I want you to go from here and begin to ask, how can I transform my department? How can I strike my department with excellence? How can I train the students that have been brought into my hand in such a way that if they see me anywhere tomorrow, they will remove their cap wherever they stand? The teachers that formed my life, I never forgot them. The teachers that ruined my career, that didn't allow me to be a medical doctor, I cannot forget them. I have a teacher that taught me biology, sir. Taught me biology. For 1 year, he taught me Hydra, Amoeba, Gbile, introduction to bacteria for a whole year. Unfortunately, he followed us to the next year. And for a whole year again, we were learning flowers. Introduction to petals. The whole note he gave us, I could cram it on my fingertip. And I thought that I am an expert in biology. When we were doing internal exams, I scored nothing less than 92 in biology. So when they say, what are your best subjects? I say, biology, this, that. The indication of my problem came when we got a new teacher who met us now in Form 5. And he said, have you got the WAEC syllabus? I said, syllabus? What is syllabus? Is it a textbook? Oh my God. By the time we woke up to realize, I knew that biology is out of the place. I went to the WAEC exams. The things I knew very well. Ask me any question about Amoeba, Gbile, Hydra, some aspect of bacteria. But unfortunately for me, even when they will bring a question, they will say, draw either amoeba or spirogyra. Compare and contrast. What are their peculiarities and what is the peculiar difference? I know amoeba, I don't know spirogyra. Nothing. You know my result already. So anytime I went and I wanted to apply for anything that has to do with medicine or something, or they say F9 biology, sorry, no hope for you. Friends, are you a lecturer here? I hope you know that you are molding lives that you will meet again. If you only know that you will meet your student again, if you know that you are not dealing with table, are you hearing me? If it's a table like this, you can keep it here, it will be there. But you are dealing with men who are living, mobile, dynamic. You met them now, you don't know when you will meet them next. You may meet them on their way now. They may meet you when you are going down. May God help you. May your stay in Lautech be remembered for good. May your walking in this environment not only satisfy God, may it satisfy you in years to come. May you look back when it is time to evaluate and say, I thank God I lived, I spent those number of years in Lautech, and I will not be ashamed of myself. I would like you to please do one thing this afternoon. It is to go to the source of wisdom. It's to go to God and say, Lord, I need you to inspire me differently. I don't want to end here as a mediocre. I wish my life would be a contribution to somebody. I wish that this level I am now, there will be something to be remembered. That while I was here, my life was not wasted. Will you please pray? That source is Jesus. Can you ask the Lord Jesus? When Solomon asked, God blessed him. You can also ask God. He will do a new thing in your life. Please pray. Please pray.